NXT was a very good show. It didn't seem taped to me at all. It may have been. I don't know. I didn't look into it. But it was a pretty decent show. The women held it down. They opened and closed the show. So I have nothing wrong with that. I did enjoy the Ricky Saints and Jevon Evans back and forth promo. I enjoyed that. I also liked the small, brief face-to-face with Oba Femi and Leon Slater. So I did enjoy that as well. I don't think that when it comes to Zarya and Sol Ruka, it seems like they're not going to break them up at all. They had a perfect chance to do it. They just didn't do it. So I'm guessing they're not going to do it at all. So it is what it is. But we're going to get into NXT from December the 23rd, 2025. So we kicked the show off with the first match of the night. Lola Vice defeats Izzy Dame. She wins via the 305. And towards the end of the match, crazy-ass Tatum Paxley, she showed up with a chainsaw in hand, which was fucking awesome. And she chases off Sean Spears. She chased him to the back, which was great. And that allowed for Lola Vice to get the win with the 305. Post-match, Culling Jordan, she showed up and she beat the brakes off of Lola Vice. So they're going to feud the two of them, which is fine. I don't know when they're going to do their first match. I would assume probably next week. If not, definitely at New Year's Evil. I like it. I got a feeling that next year, Lola Vice will more than likely probably be NXT Women's Champion. If not, she'll definitely get called up. I do see a couple of NXT people getting called up more than likely. And we'll talk about that when we get to it. So, pretty good way to start the show off, I guess. Moving on. So Thea Hail, she's out next. She gets a good reaction. She said that she knows her win of the Women's North American Championship last week was controversial. But, and she couldn't believe she won herself. Thea says that she's heard people talk about being champion, but nothing can actually prepare you for it. She says it's been the greatest week of her life. Being the Women's North American Champion. Then she recalls getting tons of opportunities at 18 years old, which led her to becoming a champion. She says she believed in every moment that meant the most, and in doing so, she made history by becoming the youngest Women's North American Champion in history. Yep, which is true. So good stuff there. Really good promo. She was really passionate there. Her voice cracked a couple times as well, but it fits in her character. She cried also in the promo, which was great too, so I did like that. So Mariah May shows up. She's very disheveled. So she says she wants her championship back, and she just wants Thea Hail just to hand it over. So Thea Hail declines and to do so. And says that Mariah May lost. She lost it. Thea Hail says that Mariah would do the same thing in her position, but agrees to give her a rematch at New Year's Evil. And then Mariah May tells Thea Hail that she not to pity her. And then the two of them get into a brawl. And then officials, they're running down to break it up. So that's fine there. This makes perfect sense. Clearly, I could see where they give it back to Mariah May. It would make the most sense. You never really can tell. I think Thea Hail's kind of ready to be on the main roster. She's been there for, 3.5 years? So since 2022. So she's been there since then. I think she's ready. I think she's ready to be on the main roster. I think, she can get better with promos and stuff like that, but she's really good in the ring. She does really good character work. The crowd's super into her. She could definitely get herself over on the main roster. So, I guess Mariah May could win at New Year's Evil, but you never can tell, because it could be where she beats Mariah May, and then they end up moving Mariah May from the mid-card up into the main event scene to go after the NXT Women's Championship, because I don't see Jacy Jayne retaining at New Year's Evil against Kendall Gray. I just don't see it. I think Jacy Jayne and Fallon Henley, I think their days are numbered in NXT. There's not really much more you can do with them there, if we're being perfectly honest. But we'll have to wait and see how shit goes and how it all plays out. Moving on from that, this leads us into Tavion Heights. He defeats Eli Knight. He advances in the speed tournament. Pretty okay match. He wins via the belly-to-belly suplex. It only went about 2 minutes, so that's good there. Apparently, Eli is one of Booker T's reality wrestling students, and he's also on Evolve. I haven't watched Evolve in months. I need to get back into it, and he seems like a young Jevon Evans. He seems like another version of Jevon Evans, basically. So that's not good. I mean, I like Jevon Evans. I'm a fan of Jevon Evans, but that ain't good. But, I like it, I need to check out Evolve, though, for being honest. I've not watched Evolve in months. It's not, it's weird for me to say that, but I've not watched it in a while. I need to get back into it. So, there's that. The two of them post-match shake hands, and that was it. They dap it up. Moving on. This leads us into the Vanity Project. They're backstage, which they consist of Ricky Smokes, Brad Baylor, and Jackson Drake. So Drake tells Mariah May that they have presents for seeing, as they share her feelings that she shouldn't have lost the Women's North American Championship. So Mariah May hears Vanity Project speculate about Thea Hail holding the title until summer. She tells them to leave, and they do. And then Ricky Smokes hands over his present to her. So, there is that. I mean, it's fine, I guess. It doesn't really matter. Who gives a damn about this? I'm guessing you should just keep them on NXT proper, in my opinion. The Vanity Project, they're fine. You can easily put them with Ethan Page, but Ethan Page, I think he's ready for a main roster call-up, too. I know the shit sounds weird, but it's time for some of these guys to kind of get called up. Ricky Saints, Ethan Page, Jacy Jayne, Fallon Henley, Oba Femi. Like, those people are primed and ready, especially both Ricky Saints and Ethan Page. They're both ready because they're both veterans. So it's not like they aren't ready and they haven't been seasoned. They're just there in NXT just to kind of be there. Like, Ethan Page can do well in the mid card on the main roster, and I'm still thinking that Ricky is going to play a massive factor in Braun Breaker winning on the first Raw of the new year. So I mean, he would have to, because reports have been saying for months that Ricky Sanchez was going to be a part of the faction. So maybe we'll get that. Maybe, I don't know. Moving on, this leads us into Ricky Sanchez and Jevon Evans. So Ava's there. Both guys show up. So Jevon Evans, he starts talking trash, but Ricky Sanchez cuts him off. And he says that Jevon Evans shows his lack of emotional intelligence. Jevon Evans tells Ricky Sanchez he's about to clock him. So security get in the ring to break up things before they even escalate to that. Jevon Evans says that Ricky Stanks didn't even get invited to, didn't have to get involved in things between him and Oba Femi during their NXT Championship match last week. Ricky Stanks knows that Jevon Evans knows that he had Oba Femi beat. Jevon says that Ricky Stanks isn't the guy he thinks he is, but Ricky Stanks insists that he's every bit of the man that he is. He could go on Good Morning America and kiss babies, while Jevon Evans can't even string two words together. And then he adds that he checks all the boxes. So that was a good promo there, a good line there, a good barb. I like that. Jevon Evans, he then reminds Ricky Stanks that he checks all the boxes for both general managers Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis. He's been on Raw and SmackDown. He's basically a free agent. And he says he checks boxes for John Cena and reminds Ricky Stanks that he was featured on John Cena's last show, Saturday Night's Main Event. And then they were looking to brawl with one another. So security holds them back. Ava says that the two of them are going to square off, and it's going to be done after next week. So that leads me to believe that apparently Ricky Stanks is going to lose this. It makes sense. Have Jevon Evans go over in this. And then you send Ricky to the main roster. There's nothing else for Ricky to do. I think Ricky being in NXT for 8 months has been fine. He's held 2 championships, the NXT championship and the North American championship. He had short reigns with both of them, but Ricky doesn't need to be in NXT long. He never did. Ricky Stanks was already tailor-made for the main roster. It's just he went to NXT to get packaged and to, hone his craft even more. It was just a stepping stone for him, basically, if we're being honest. And I do think that Ricky Stanks will do well on the main roster. I do. You turn him heel on the main roster, obviously. You have him be aligned with the vision. Makes perfect sense. He's a veteran. He can give advice to Austin Theory and Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, the young guys. Well, Bronson Reed's like mid-30s, so he's not... he's young, but he's not that young. He's not, he's not like Braun Breaker young or Logan Paul young. So, good shit there. But clearly, Jevon Evans needs to win this. Ricky Stanks, in my opinion, he's done all that he needs to do in NXT. There's nothing else left for him to do. And I think he'll do well on the main roster. But we'll have to wait and see if that does even pan out. I hope it does. Because if Ricky Stanks wins, then what do you do with Jevon Evans? You got to push Jevon Evans. And I know people are saying, well, Jevon Evans is ready, he's ready for the main roster. Jevon Evans is not ready for the main roster. He's not ready yet. He is not ready for the main roster. No. He's only been in NXT for at best 2 years. Let the guy stay down there for a good 3 to 4 years. Basically, might as well say 4 years. He's just too young. He's only 21, right? He's not ready yet. People like him in NXT, but the main roster is it's a whole different fucking ball game, So, but hopefully Ricky Stanks ends up putting Jevon Evans over next week, hopefully. Moving on from that, this leads us into the Christmas Chaos mixed tag team match, which was kind of fun. Tatum Paxley and Skylar Ray, they defeat NXT's power couple, Ariana Grace and Stax. Match was pretty okay. It's just I'm not a fan of Shiloh Hill. I don't understand his character and his gimmick. The whole Sami Callihan, Mustafa Ali, Bo Dallas gimmick, it doesn't fit him. This was an okay, fun little match. You had kendo sticks involved, steel chairs. There was a table spot. They knocked over some Christmas trees in this match. It was okay. Ariana brought out a cookie sheet and beat up both Shiloh Hill and Skylar Ray. So I did like that. Ariana eating the pin, which is fine, I guess. I mean, even though her and Stax are featured on TNA in a prominent, really good storyline, but they don't give a fuck about that, so it is what it is. I mean, it's fine. So basically, post-match, Ariana Grace, she grabbed a cookie and started eating it, and then she was crying to Stax and all that about the loss. That was funny there. And not only that, it was funny how they were handing out cookies to the crowd. That being Shiloh Hill and Skylar Ray. That was kind of funny too. That was a fun little spot in the match. So there was that. Lexis King defeated Andre Chase. Whatever, he advances to the finals. It's going to be Lexis King versus Tavion Heights. Who cares? Moving on, this leads us into the main event of the evening. Chelsea Green retains the U.S. Women's Championship. Alba Fire gets involved. Moose shows up towards the end of the match. He brawls with Ethan Page. The two of them brawl to the back. Zarya gets involved for a brief moment. Then Alba Fire shows up, takes out Zarya. This allowed for Chelsea Green to hit the Unpretty Her on Sol Ruka for the 1-2-3. And then post-match, Alba Fire and Chelsea Green, they get beat up by Zarya and Sol Ruka post-match. So it is what it is. I guess they're not going to break up Zarya and Sol Ruka at all. They're going to keep them together for whatever fucking reason. To me, I find it dumb, but whatever. Who gives a damn, if we're being honest. I have given up on Zarya turning heel. I've officially given it up. There's no point talking about it anymore because they're not going to do it. For whatever reason, they're not going to do it. I don't know why. Zarya is a powerhouse. She's fucking awesome. And it's just like she's playing second fiddle to Sol Ruka. And I don't like that, right? I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't. The face-to-face that Oba Femi and Leon Slater had was okay. It could have been better. I guess they'll probably do another face-to-face, but this time it should be in ring via, promo battle and see how that goes. Clearly, Jevon Evans is going. Clearly, Leon Slater is going to lose to Oba Femi. So there's that. But I definitely am excited for next week's show for sure. We got a couple of championship matches on that card as well. Clearly, the main event should be Ricky Saints and Jevon Evans. And that's where you have Jevon Evans go over Ricky Saints. So, yeah. But I enjoyed most of the show. Again, I could have done without Lexis King being on the show. I could have done without that street fight. I mean, even though it was kind of fun, but I just don't care about those things, right? But it is what it is. But NXT, for the most part, was okay. But what did you guys think? Like, comment, subscribe. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Peace.